Hello darlings, so there are different types of solutions that we can get for an equation. Remember, an equation has an equal sign, and that means we can solve for x or solve for the variable, find out what the value is. An expression would not have an equal sign, which means we'd have some funny looking answer left over and we wouldn't be able to find a value for x. So with the different types of solutions, we're talking specifically about the values of the variable and what it can be. And to figure them out, or how to do it, let's do this question over here. So we're going to first use the distributive property, which says 2 times x is going to give us 2x. And then after that, 2 times by negative 6 is going to give us negative 12. We need to isolate the x, so we're going to manipulate our equation a little by eliminating the 12. And the 12 is subtracting, which means the inverse operation is going to be add, and we're going to add 12 so that it just becomes 2x. And we could write plus 0, but that's a waste of time. Of course, because we are manipulating the equation, it means that we must do it in an equal way on both sides. And that reason is because of this equal sign. It means whatever is on this side must have the same value as what's on that side. So if we change the value of that side, we've got to change the value of this side. And 12 plus 12 is 24. So now we have 24 is equals to 2x. The next thing we need to manipulate is that 2x. We need to make it into x, and to do that the inverse operation of times, because it's 2 times x, would be divide. And that would give us x on its own, so we've isolated it. But because it is an equation and that equal sign is sacred, however we've manipulated the right side, we then need to manipulate the left side as well in the same manner. So we're going to divide that side by 2, which gives us an answer of 12, and that means x has the value of 12. If you want, you can write it as x is equals to 12. If that makes you feel better, it's exactly the same thing. And now I would call this the normal way, or the normal solution, or something like that. And it's normal because you're going to get a normal answer out of it. It's going to feel good once you've done it because, well, it just looks like something you should see. The other two aren't as normal. So we're going to go with this one first. And let's start by multiplying out the brackets. So 13 is equals to, and we're going to do 2 times by x, which is 2x, and 2 times by 4, which is 8. Then we've got minus 2x, and we've got 5. And before I go any further, I'm going to add my like terms, so I'll leave that over there. I've got 2x and I've got minus 2x, and of course that leaves me with no x's. So actually, let's just scribble them out because they have been eliminated. 8 plus 5 is 15. Now you'll see over here that 13 is equals to 13. And that means it doesn't actually matter what values we would give to x. Any value will work. Any value will work as long as the number is real. So this is a very specific way we've got to write it. We have to say x can be any real number. The real way we'd say that is x is an element of any real number. Looks kind of like my signature actually. So it means that x can be a number that exists as opposed to a number that doesn't exist, and there are numbers that don't exist that we can work with anyway. So just to go over why that works, it's because we have the same number equals to the same number over there, We don't have any x's left over. They've all disappeared. But that side is the same value as that side. Now, I'm sure you've guessed then that the next solution will be unreal. In other words, it can't exist. So let's start by multiplying out the brackets. So I've got 5 minus 5 at least, and let's do distributive law. So that means I've got 2 times by x, which is 2x, and then I have 2 times by 3, which is 6, and then I've got minus 2. I'm going to collect my like terms, and you'll see that there is a theme to this one, or a commonality. I've got 2x and I'm subtracting x, so that gives me, well, no x's. And now we have the impossible. There is no way that negative 5 has the same value as 6. It just cannot happen. It's just not a real situation. So that means we need to write that there is no solution for x. So we can just write it like this. And no solution definitely just means that it cannot exist. And look at it and we go, how does that work? So in short, let's see if we can zoom out enough. If we get x is equals to a value, then it's like a normal one, and most of the questions you have, you will get to a spot where x has a value of something. Occasionally you'll come across a question that goes like this, where you have 13 is equals to 13, often it's 0 is equals to 0, something like that. As long as you have the same number on both sides, it means that x can be an element of any real number. It doesn't matter what you substitute in for x, it will work. And lastly, we have the situation where there's no solution. So the x's cancelled out each other, you've got 0 x's left, but you have negative 5 is equals to 6, and of course it's not equals to 6, so that must mean there is no solution. And there we go.